Why are there lots of complaints? The world is already full of problems and pain. In the world, there will be darkness and tribulation. So the Bible said. So we don't expect a world whereby there is no darkness and tribulation. But when Jesus said, you are the lights of the world, let your light so shine. What is Jesus saying here? He's saying there are certain things you need to shine in this world. Complaints can be removed by 4 things I will talk about. Number 1 is wisdom. If people lack wisdom, they will end up complaining and complicating the lives of other generations. It's time for people to start seeking wisdom. I will talk about wisdom as a counsel of God, not as a counsel of man. Wisdom as a will of God. We need to go back to ask ourselves, what is the counsel of God, the will of God pertaining a thing? In the same way also, complaint can be corrected by discipleship. How many followers do we have? Or we just have people who are actually just shouting that they are following? If we have a good leader that have good followers, the good leader should provide leadership that corrects error. In the same way, all the followers will follow suit. But if we have a bad leader, or to what you expect, the bad leader will have bad followers, the bad followers will create suits and will have more problems. So everybody should now go back and say, let's ask you, who are you following? If you are really following God, and then you are following, let's say you are following an imam that teaches the right thing that God wants you to do, or you are following a pastor that teaches the right thing that God wants you to do, we will remove complaints and confusion out of the world. An economy where there is burden is because nobody has actually stood up to use what they learned from their predecessor to correct things. How many leaders are teaching the right things? Then we go back to understand what we talk about and just say walk as light here. Let's talk about sincerity and faithfulness. How many people are sincere and faithful? We have lots of corrupt people doing corrupt things just to get money. The world is full of desperate people trying to make money at all ends. I must get this money. God knows we need this money. And God is there to give us this. You don't need to kill. You don't need to manipulate. You don't need to lie. You don't need to bring in deception. God has already ordained us to have this thing. Then I close with the other one that can remove complaint is what I call peacemakers and purity. Blessed are the peacemakers. A lot of people creating this confusion, they are troubleshooters. We don't want any other trouble again. Let's find things that will bring peace. Let's come to resolution. Let's come to agreement. Let's look at equality. Let's look at how to make another person's life better. Some people are just out there to torment and frustrate others. You see a rich man who wants to frustrate the poor people. You see a poor person trying to stand for his rights. So there's lots of troubles and turbulence there. But if everybody seeks peace, and everybody's out to do things in a perfect way, all these complaints will end. Now to close it. Complaints are not how we ought to live. God can wipe out a nation that complains. Complaints can get God angry. Complaints can make you terminate your destiny. So if you know the best thing to do rather than complain, take time to think about what you want to do. Plan about it, pray about it, make a decision, and be sure that God told you to do that. If you do that, you will be a light providing solution in dark places. God bless.